Now, man, hopefully my volume is okay. I'm looking at my volume meter right now, and my microphone is extremely high. I'm about to turn it down a little bit. Let me know if my volume is too low or too high, please. But on the stream, I want to make it clear that if you find any black woman who agrees with K. Michelle, just like the thumbnail says, that is your enemy. Even if she agrees with K. Michelle a little bit, that is your enemy. Because K. Michelle is a head case. First, a divester, swirler, ratchet, hood rat, wig wearing, BBL having, mental head case who got up here and said a bunch of things that are not in line with the facts. So if you find a black woman who agrees with this, she is your enemy. And I'm just saying it's irrefutable at that point. Because you could find some who actually disagrees with K. Michelle and they could still be your enemy. But one way to know if they're irrefutably your enemy is if they agree with this talking head right here. This woman had a mental breakdown up there, but the crazy thing is, this is the typical or average black female's mentality. Even in today, 2025, people, how long has the truth, how long have the facts been out? And y'all still haven't updated y'all's rhetoric? Y'all's rhetoric is still the same as it was in 1984? What the hell is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? For all you black women who agree with this lady about black men creating broken homes, are you aware that you're talking about less than 20% of all black men? Are y'all aware of that? Y'all not good at math? Is that it? Y'all unable to do the math? 45% of black men have kids. Do you understand that? 45% of black men have kids. The majority of black men don't have kids. Do you understand that? Now, of the black men who have kids, many of them are married. This is what they're not understanding. So, the demographic that K. Michelle is referring to, she's not talking about the black men who are married, right? Think about this. Look, wait a minute. We got a YouTube short pulled up so that she won't take too much time babbling. But let's quickly go back over this insanity.
I'm asking right now, black men to really step up for black women and create families. It's really not cool. Black men are attacking black women, and it's not cool. They're not creating homes, they're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool.
Around 20% of black men are creating babies. 20% are creating babies out of wedlock. These broken homes that you're talking about, they involve around 20% of black men. Who are the other men that y'all dealing with that's causing you, well, that's resulting in you being a single mother? All the brads y'all get kids with. Why aren't you sitting up here talking about how white men also create broken homes with black women? Isn't there some like 2 million black women who have biracial kids and they're single mothers themselves also? Well, they're just as single today as they always were. It's just that today, many of them, instead of having kids by black men, they have kids by white men, and they're still single. So why aren't you up here calling out the brads? You can't make this up, people. Some 55% of black men don't have kids. So what you're saying does not even apply to half of the black male population. Do y'all understand that? I'm speaking like this because y'all are slow. Let's just be honest and put it out there. Y'all are slow. Come on, black women, gather around. Y'all are slow. This rant of black men creating broken homes doesn't even apply to 50% of black men. Only around 45% of black men have kids. Now, are you directing this speech towards that 45%? No, you're not. No, you're not. Why do I say that? Because more black men are married than black women are married. Those black men who have kids, many of them are married. And guess what? Most of them are married to black women. So even the black men who knock y'all up, most of them are married to you. So you ain't talking about them. This lecture don't apply to them. Also, you have black men who don't have kids by black women, but they do have kids by white women, Latina women, Asian women. And your rant does not apply to them either. You see how we're getting somewhere now? So your little rant applies to around 19% of all black men. Around 19% of black men are impregnating around 70% of black women. Those of you who ended up as single mothers, make that make sense. Who needs a lecture in that scenario? The black male collective or the black female collective? We, as black men, I did the same thing on my SBW channel. We've been talking about these platforms that allow black women to get up there and spew this exact same type of rhetoric. It started with Oprah Winfrey. And it's disappointing to see black men in 2025 still giving these women a platform to get up here and spew these lies. So along with black women not evolving, many of these black women's sons had not evolved, and I've seen some black women agreeing with this nonsense.
And I'm asking you, other successful black men, you have to set an example as leads.
Successful black man narrative. I want to touch on that again too. Who do you think she's referring to when she says successful black men? Who do you think she's referring to? Because I don't believe that she is referring to the everyday hardworking black man. I don't. I don't believe she's referring to the black men who are making 60, even 50, 70, $80,000 a year. You're not calling those men successful. None of you do. Y'all look down on those men. Why? Because many of those men are factory workers, are plumbers, electricians, truckers, and y'all look down on those men. Traditionally, you all do not refer to those types of black men as successful. That's either true or it's not true. We all know it's true. So what kind of sense does it make to call on black men who make, let's say, over 100,000? Is that what you call them successful? 90,000 and above? That's a small percentage of black men. Why would you be calling on what? Let's say 12% of black men make that kind of money. Why would you call on them to take care of y'all's kids? And we all know that this was a plantation lecture, people. This is a plantation lecture from a plantation breeder. She's literally asking us to take care of kids that are not ours. Now look at some of these comments in the comment section to this video. Wait a minute.
Black women are where you come from, this and that. So there probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening because there's so many other things around you going on that
Airheaded, shut up. It's woman is.
Let me show my bitch. She back in the A. I'm excited about it. I missed her. You know, she's got her new crib, so I had to go check my bitch out. You know, go for it.
I gotta check my bitch out. You know, my bitch back in the A. I gotta go. A ratchet with money. A straight up and down hood rat with money. Are we supposed to be impressed? Are we supposed to be impressed with you or K. Michelle? Don't no hood rat got room to lecture me about nothing. And don't this K. Michelle chick got a BBL? One of them artificial butts that stink? I mean, she got a whole yard full of fake stuff. Lashes, hair, face, butt. She got fake boobs too, fake nails, fake eyebrows, fake everything. Now, I'm showing y'all this video because I want y'all to see her house.
A home, it has to be perfect for me so I don't have to leave. Have 8 bedrooms, the furniture all custom. This house is me.
This is how a queen is supposed to live.
So do you think a woman like K. Michelle would refer to an electrician as a successful black man? Do y'all think a woman like this would refer to a plumber with his own business even? Do you think she referred to that type of man as successful, even though he's raking in a good 90, 80, 90, maybe even over $100,000 a year? Same with the electricians, especially if they have their own business. No, she's not. Even though if you want black men to go marry these black women, those are the black men who you want to go marry them. The ones who make the 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 a year. But she's not even talking about that. And I'm pointing this out because this woman makes no sense. You goofy. You calling on 10% of black men to save all of y'all hood rats. You out of your mind? To even make a request like that, you are out of your mind. Jeez, these women need help, man. Somebody said black women help the oppressors set this dynamic. And we're seeing the results of their decision. They sure did. Y'all left your kids' fathers in the 60s and 70s. You all did that. Black men supported family. Black Americans were the most married group in this country. Y'all created these single mothers that y'all now want to turn around and blame us for. Again, this has been debunked years ago. Why are y'all so behind? Jeez, y'all don't deal with stats or facts or information? My goodness. Jeez. You can't make this up. But he wrote a little too much right there. I'm not going to read that. To hell, she's crying for these women these days, have no respect, and she talks about, that's another thing. That's another thing she said in this interview. She said, stop complaining about black women's attitude. You're just weak. Y'all remember that part where she said, you're just weak. She's talking about black women's attitude. She's basically saying, stop complaining about black women disrespecting you. Stop having a problem with black women being nasty and rude, condescending, and disrespectful towards you. Just put up with it and take care of them and their kids. Take it. You need a strong woman. That's what they call being a strong woman. Again, out of her mind. You know, have y'all noticed that these women, they never take into consideration that black men have the shortest lifespan on average, and that much of it is because of stress? And they are happy to add on more stress. They never think to themselves about our well-being, but they want us to think about them and their well-being. Somebody said, when do you ask your fellow black women to stop shitting on the fellow black men and learn to work with them, right? Look at this one. Somebody said this same woman was talking about how much she loves white men, but then got mad when her son dated a white woman. Now, that's a good point that I pointed out on the other video. She said that she currently dates white men, and that she will only date white men in the future. If that's the case, how can you instruct us to get black women? We don't get a white woman like you getting a white man. I mean, how crazy is this? That's why I say, any black woman who agrees with this head case right here, she is a lunatic herself, and she is your enemy. She is your enemy. Look at this. Look at this comment. The problem is, somebody said, both the man and the woman have to want the honor. Wrong. Wrong. I don't know. What is she even talking about? And I'm assuming that this was a woman. We ain't got to do nothing. Black men ain't got to do nothing. We never created broken homes. You understand that? Black women left black men because they wanted a Section 8 voucher and welfare. And that became black women's culture. They then raised their daughters to utilize Section 8 and welfare, and to make sure no man is there, to be anti-male, anti-black male, to dump on black fathers and black fatherhood, to refer to black fathers and fatherhood as irrelevant, as worthless. They have built a culture doing this. That means you can't blame black men for broken home. Are you? Yes, you are out of your mind, all of you. To fix y'all's lips to blame black men for single mother homes. Y'all are lunatics. What evidence, what proof do you have? You have nothing. Y'all don't have historic statistics, and you don't even have modern statistics. Again, today, as I speak, around 20% of black men are knocking up these women, these single mothers. Around 20% of black men are knocking up the entire black female population who've given birth to kids. But of the population of black women who have kids, many of them have kids by white men. And you are still a single mother. The only difference is you're not trying to tarnish white men's image. You see how she's careful not to tarnish white men's image, to only attack black men's image, even though white men are doing the exact same thing with black women, mind you. This small percentage of black men. You also have a small percentage of white men knocking you up and leaving you as, and really it's y'all leaving them. Y'all ending up single mothers with little biracial kids. Why don't you lecture Brad? Of course you won't. You're aligned with Brad. Not only are you aligned, y'all are thankful to those Brads for impregnating you. This largely has to do with them having hatred for their black kids. Their kids who have black fathers. They don't regret having biracial. Do y'all think they regret having biracial kids? They most certainly do not. So, if you ask me, this woman provided ammunition, a sort of test or quiz that black men can use. All you have to do is ask them, do you agree with this woman? Give y'all an example of what I'm talking about.
Everywhere.
I do agree with her when she says that, because once again, men out here who are not doing what they need to do, and it's a problem. But there are also women who match that. So we gotta work on everybody. We just can't. They don't know, but just on GP, they want the men to level up, and take care of them, even though these women are not wifey material.
This is one of those black women who try to sound like she's on black men's side, but she's really not.
They don't have the slightest idea of what it means to work with a man, cooperate with a man, be with a man long term, and that is a problem. So we can focus on the men, which, of course, once again, there are men out here who are not doing what they need to do, and it's a problem. But
no, and that's a small percentage of men. And you better acknowledge that it's around 20, 19, 18% of black men who are baby daddies. No, you're going to acknowledge that. Because with a percentage that low, nobody can sit up and lecture the entire black male population. Nobody.
but there are also women who match that. So we gotta work on everybody. We just can't put all of the onus on the men.
We don't need to be worked on. Y'all need to be worked on. What about that don't y'all understand? We don't need to be worked on. Again, y'all slow. You don't evolve. You're slow. You don't evolve with information. 65% of black men are in the middle class. We're doing just fine. Over 50% of black men are childless. Think about what you're saying, goofies. Y'all stupid lecture, it don't even apply to half of black men. But y'all still think you got a case. You still think you got an argument, huh? That 45% of black men that you're preaching to, most of that 45% of black men are married to black women. So your lecture don't apply to them either. Duh. Y'all don't do math. Y'all don't have critical thinking skills. That's what it is. You're scared of accountability, you're scared of math. 45% of black men who have kids, most of them are married. So you're not talking about them. You understand that? Does that make sense? So the black men who are not married are less than half of that 45%. Because again, most of the majority of that 45% are married. Like what? Let's continue.
And not look at the women, because the women play a big part in all of this. They have a major role in all of this. But if they're taught to be independent women, we don't need you, and when we get successful, you gonna have to match us, then that's gonna leave a lot of good men out. And if the woman's focus is only on the money and how successful you are, this is why we have a big problem with relationships. That's just part of it. Continue.
And my grandfather, I watch my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, black men to really step up for black women and create families.
Yeah.
It's really not cool. Black men are attacking black women. And it's not cool. They're not creating homes. They're creating babies everywhere.
I do agree with her when she says that, because once again,
You see? There was nothing about that to agree with. Because we are not attacking them. We're laying out the facts that y'all scared to acknowledge. That's not an attack. We are not attacking them. See, all of you black men who think black women like this is on your side, no, they're not. They're here to try to be on K. Michelle's side. They're trying to make K. Michelle sound rational, make her sound reasonable. They're trying to make her sound sane, which is foul.
Creating homes, they're creating babies everywhere.
I do agree with her when she says that, because once again, two things could be true at the same time. There are some black men who are creating broken homes, just making babies all.
Notice how this content creator, thinks it's irrelevant to deal with percentages, to deal with the statistics. Notice how they don't deal with statistics. What's wrong with y'all? I'm asking you, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all's brain, it's not clicking. You got some screws loose up there. I don't think I've ever heard them deal with statistics. It's only black men who deal with statistics. That proves that y'all are out here babbling. Nothing more. You're not even dealing with real information.
All over the place with certain women, but there are also black men who are creating families, who are husbands, who.
Notice, you see how counterproductive it is to be ignorant of facts and statistics and yet try to be a narrator and tackle subjects like this? See how inefficient it makes you?
Again, two things could be true at the same time. There are some black men who are creating broken homes.
19%.
Just making babies all over the place.
And even those 19%, many of those are actually involved in their kids' life. Many of those men were left by their kids' mothers. Notice how these single women in droves by the thousands have said, I left them, I left them, I left them. Y'all really have no argument at all.
With certain women, but there are also black men who are creating families.
There are also black men who are creating families. Lady, You're talking about some of the married men, black men you're talking about. Most black men are married. Excuse me, married to black women. The black men who are married, around 80% of them are married to black women. So notice how they don't even acknowledge that. They act like that demographic of black men shouldn't be acknowledged. Are you out of your mind? You're trying to project this idea, basically, that none of us are married. Or the ones that are, it's just a small percentage. Some, what are you saying? Oh, well, yeah, 15% of black men are married. This is insane. If you don't deal with facts, stats, you shouldn't speak.
Who are husbands, who have wives, who are faithful to their wives and taking care of their families. But I think a certain group of women, the successful group of women who are looking for men, they in many cases are looking for the men in their tax bracket. This is what they're telling us. So they're looking for a certain select group of men in their tax bracket or in a higher tax bracket to become these family men, to marry their women and be faithful and have these homes and have these things. So what the problem with it is, because women have become successful and they were taught they didn't need a man, now they believe that a man is only worthy when he can make a certain amount of money, and it has to be more than what they make. He's only worthy if he can level up to what you got going on, if he can take care of you on the level that you need him to take care of you. And
you notice how she's speaking in line with this idea that black women are more successful than black men? Oh, yes, she is. She's speaking in line. She's speaking in a way to confirm this myth that black women are more financially successful and make more money than black men. They are not. Y'all not even in a position to be high and mighty. You can't blame single black women on this idea that they're so successful and can't find men on their level. Black men, on average, make more than black women. Next lie. What lie you got next? That totally debunks that idea. Y'all are not some super successful demographic of women who can't find black men on y'all's level. And it's funny because you'll have these black women who have these little mediocre jobs where they're sitting at a desk somewhere as a receptionist or something, making $45,000, $50,000, and they'll look down on plumbers, electricians. They'll look down on men with trades because they view those jobs as dirty and jobs that are, unsuccessful. And they totally dismiss the fact that these men are making more money than them. Many of them making a lot more money than them. Your little measly 45,000. Like I said, at my job, I work at a warehouse. Most of those black men at my job, don't nobody make under $60,000 out there. Nobody. Most of them are around 70, 80,000 a year because we are not on salary and we're not scared to work long hours like you all are. Most black women are scared of 8 hours a day, people. Most black women are afraid of working 40 hours a week. Do y'all understand me? 40 hours a week ain't nothing. I'll be in heaven. If I could work 40 hours a week and make the same amount of money that I make working 55 to 60 hours a week. And we do this week after week after week. We are obliterating black women when it comes to income. Do y'all understand that? Don't be fooled by these little statistics that you see online that shows black men only make 5,000 more or 8,000 more dollars per year than black women. Like I said, That's their flat rate. That's based on 40 hours. When they report how much you make per year, they don't include overtime. Even if those workers work overtime pretty much every day. So that destroys this whole argument. But yet this content creator is speaking as if that the average black woman makes more than us.
And they're not looking at the men, the majority of the men, because remember, these men who make this substantial amount of money, these successful entrepreneurs, celebrity men, they make a certain amount of money that most individuals do not make. So that's a small select group. But these successful women are looking for those particular men to level up and level the playing field and start taking women seriously and marrying them and only being with them. And that is not what is happening. And this is why a lot of women are frustrated and fed up, because they want these elite men that they want to be the type of men that a lot of
they want rich men. It's crazy how they believe that the average black man should make over $100,000. Only a small percentage of all races of men make over $100,000. A small percentage of all men. But black women, so many of them just being doofus, think the norm and how it's supposed to be is that the average, typical, everyday black man makes over $100,000. And to be honest, they think that the average black man should be rich, should live just like they see the rappers living on these rap videos, right? Okay, yeah, I'll address the echo. I know what the echo is. It's unrealistic thinking. It's childlike thinking. Think about that. Who thinks like that? Who thinks outside of the realm of facts? Culturally. Y'all need help. Y'all seriously need help.
Average men are already. So they're disqualifying a whole group of men who are faithful men, who get married, who take care of their families, who do the right things, even though they didn't see their uncles and the men in their family. I'm pretty sure a lot of those men were not rich. I don't think that they look at those men anymore as something to relish or something to be proud of. They
exactly
are looking at rich men. And it doesn't mean that because you're rich that automatically makes you a good man. And I think that's the problem. They don't see success for men as hardworking men anymore who have taken care of their families. She said 9 kids. Yeah, those men will go out and work hard. Make sure those kids had a roof over their head. Make sure that they had clothes on their backs.
Enough babbling. In other words, they have primitive mentalities. That's what we're dealing with here. This is a childlike mentality. This is a mentality that it's almost has a learning disability. Why can't you simply look up the facts like we do, like everybody else do? Why can't y'all do that? Why can't you formulate your arguments based on the facts? I tell you why. Because the facts are not in y'all's favor. So you avoid dealing with the facts and instead deal with fantasy, emotion. Step up for black women. You're attacking us. Prove it. Nothing she accused us of in this interview is true. Nothing. There are more black women in this country than black men. Yet, there's a higher number of black men who are married. So you are in no position to lecture us about marriage. When there are fewer black men, but yet there are more black men that are married than black, that shows that we do want marriage. We do value, and we've always valued marriage. Between 1870 and 1950, some 85-90% of black Americans were married. That's because black men value marriage. As soon as these women leave these quality men, they start to teach their daughters, you don't need men. Your kids don't need a father. Y'all are literally created a culture of single mothers. And you want to turn around and lecture black men about it. Y'all are insane. Absolutely insane. This is truly like the nail in a coffin. Y'all getting worse. You look at the statistics about how y'all are the most single demographic in this country and ask yourself, do you think interviews like this help y'all's cause? You think interviews like this going to help y'all find a man? You think stuff like this going viral is going to reduce the number of single? No, it's not. It's about to make it worse. Every time y'all come out y'all's faces and refuse to take accountability for your own actions, you make yourselves more and more single. Stop blaming black men for how single y'all are. We are the purchasers. We're the buyers. We propose to you. We decide whether or not we want to. And the crazy thing is, people, about 3 men, black men, proposed to K. Michelle. And she turned them down. This lady herself, this hypocrite, had black men trying to start a family with her, and then she want to turn around and say, we creating broken homes? No. Listen, black women, I don't care how much y'all get up in front of the camera and cry, because I know a lot of y'all are feeling sympathy and want to defend her just because she started crying. I don't give a damn about y'all's tears. I don't care how much y'all get up and cry and sing the blues and act like the victim. If y'all don't take accountability for your own actions, we're not even going to listen to you. And I want more black men to think like this. Stop falling for their plantation lectures. How in the world can a bunch of really plantation brothels, these are breeders who don't want to be married. Why don't you talk about that, K. Michelle? Why don't you talk about the thousands of black women who went public already over the past few years, saying that they left their kids' fathers, saying that they don't want to be married, saying that they left their husbands? Don't you think that creates broken homes? No, she only wants to address the percentage of black men who leave their kids' mothers. Huh? It's even less than 20%. Because like I said, many of those black men in that 20% that's knocking them up, many of those black men were dumb. So literally, based on the statistics, the black female collective, functions like a population of prostitutes, of breeders, not even prostitutes, because you're not really demanding money for these sexual exchanges anyways. Y'all functioning like a population of breeders. That's an acknowledgement of the truth. That's not an attack. That's not bashing or none of that. That's an acknowledgement of the truth. I just heard some gangster on the internet talk about how his gangster buddy, he was lacking. He didn't have his Roscoe on him and he was taken out by his ops. And he got a lot of pushback from the fans. They said, oh, don't speak negatively about your homeboy who is now no longer here. Hey, you're being too harsh on your homie who was taken out. And this gangster said, no, I'm not. I'm just acknowledging the facts. The truth of the matter, he knew better than to be out there by himself with no Roscoe. My man knew better, and that contributed to him being taken out. That's the same standard I'm using here. Lord. Now let me see if this works. I'm going to try this. See if I can get rid of this goofy echo.
Made sure that everything was taken care of, working hard with a supportive woman at the house who understood the importance of that man. But now we have women who are super successful. They can't date an average man because they feel like they're going to disrespect him because you don't.
That was another lie. You don't have black women who are super successful. Where? Y'all the most evicted in the country. More of y'all getting evicted than black men. More of y'all homeless than black men. Most definitely more of you are on welfare. We can't get welfare. How you gonna be successful on food stamps, on Section 8? Don't sit up and talk about black women as a successful group. This is who I'm talking about. A complete joke. They are so delusional.
Don't understand or respect a hard-working man anymore. Every man has to be rich and make more than you for you to respect them. And so this is why they're missing out. It's not that there aren't good men out here who work hard.
No, it's not why they're missing out. The average black woman does not make more money than the average black man. This whole argument is incorrect. Jeez. Now, all over the internet, black men are slaughtering this K. Michelle chick. There's really no reason for me to even make this stream. I'm telling you, every black man who has responded to this has ethered this crazy woman. And it's crazy enough, there are several black women in the comment sections who agree with this crazy woman. So they're out here. They're out here. They're out here agreeing with this madness. So do not get caught lacking. Ask your potential girlfriend. And really, man, if they say they disagree with the stuff that K. Michelle got up here and said, they're most likely lying. They do agree with what she said. They're just not going to tell you that they agree because they're trying to get you. So you really can't even trust that. You can't go around and you can't even use that as ammunition. Hey, do you agree with the things K. Michelle got up there and said? Oh, nah, I don't agree with that at all. Yet around her friends, yes, she do agree with it. Yes, she do agree with it, and she lying. See, this boils down to black women making themselves undesirable. This is not a case of black men attacking y'all or nothing like that. We're reflecting on how undesirable you're making yourselves. Y'all are at the bottom. You're the least desired by your own actions. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with black men. Stop blaming us. Stop bringing us up. This is all we're saying. You want to swirl? You want to be a permanent divester? Go knock yourself out. But make sure when you talking and wanting to give a lecture to the group of men you're involved with, that you're committed with. And I don't even care if you are married to a black man. Save it. We don't need no lecture. We're doing just fine. It's y'all who need a lecture. Now I land my plane there.